Have you ever felt like something's just off with your body? Not a sharp pain, not a clear illness, just occasional bloating after meals, waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, or feeling emotionally drained without knowing why. I used to feel that way too. Tried all kinds of healthy foods, hit the gym, drank plenty of water, meditated every morning, but something inside still felt out of sync. Then one day, a doctor asked me a question I never expected. Have you been taking care of your gut properly? And that was the moment I stepped into a world I had never really noticed before, the world of probiotics. In today's video, I'll walk you through what probiotics truly are and why they could completely transform your overall health. How to use probiotics the right way so you don't waste time or money. And most importantly, how to truly listen to your body through the lens of the gut, the brain, and the soul. No hype, no loud marketing, just a calm, honest conversation where you might begin reconnecting with yourself from the inside out. Are you dealing with digestive issues? Or maybe you simply want to live healthier in a natural and sustainable way? If so, stick around. Because up next, we'll explore things that seem small, yet may change your health for life. Part 1. I thought I was healthy. Until my gut spoke up, I still remember that morning, waking up in my little apartment in Seattle. The sky was overcast, cold, and like every day, I started with warm water, a clean breakfast, and a few gentle stretches. From the outside, I looked like the picture of health. Clean eating, no alcohol, regular workouts, but there was something I couldn't figure out. Why was I constantly bloated? Why did I feel irritable for no reason? Why did eating sometimes make me feel worse? At first, I blamed stress or poor sleep, but over time, the symptoms piled up, a strange fatigue, a foggy mind, and on some days, I felt like I wasn't quite myself anymore. Then, during a routine checkup, my doctor looked at me and said something that changed everything. You're not clearly sick, but maybe your gut is trying to tell you something you're not listening to. That sentence cracked open a whole new way of seeing my health. I started reading, researching, and discovered something extraordinary. Inside each of us lives a vast microbial universe, known as the microbiome. So small you can't see it, but it influences how we digest, how we feel, how we sleep, and even how we think. I realized, even though I was living healthy, I had completely neglected the trillions of tiny beings inside my gut, the very ones shaping my entire well-being. You can eat clean, work out, and sleep on time, but if your gut isn't happy, it's like watering a plant, but ignoring its roots. And that's when I truly began my journey. How do I nourish my gut microbiome and bring my body back into balance? The first step was understanding. Your body isn't just heart, lungs, or brain. It also has a silent hero, your gut ecosystem. Let's meet that hero in the next part. Part 2. Your gut microbiome. The silent hero inside you. I used to think the gut was just a pipe, a place where food went in and came out. But it turns out it's more like a miniature universe, home to trillions of microorganisms, more than all the cells in your body combined. Can you imagine? A bustling city inside your belly. Good bugs, bad bugs, communities that compete, collaborate, and influence nearly every system in your body. I still remember sitting in a Portland cafe one rainy afternoon, reading a book that described the gut microbiome as a silent army, regulating blood sugar, producing vitamins, managing hormones, and yes, even emotions. 70% of the immune system lives in the gut. 90% of serotonin, our feel-good hormone, is produced right there. Every healthy microbe acts like a sensor, helping your body respond smartly to the world. One Harvard study showed people with diverse gut bacteria are less likely to suffer from colds, depression, arthritis, even cancer. They sleep better, feel more focused, and often have healthier skin. But here's what shocked me. The very habits we think are normal, too much sugar, frequent antibiotics, long-term stress, can slowly kill off our gut's good bacteria. I used to be guilty of that. Antibiotics for every sniffle, rushed meals, Back-to-back workdays without pause. I had no idea I was quietly dismantling the very system meant to protect me. We often try to fix what we see, like breakouts, fatigue, or poor sleep. But the real root of health starts with what we don't see: our gut microbiome. From the moment I realized that, I began rebuilding my inner army. But the next big question was, who really needs probiotics? Should everyone take them? Is it safe for all? The answer might surprise you. Part 3. Why is 70% of your immune system in the gut? This one blew my mind too. Most of your immune system isn't in your blood, not in your lungs, but in your gut. At first, it made no sense. How could digestion be linked to immunity? But the more I read, the clearer it became. Inside our bodies is a silent front line, where the gut is our first and longest border. Imagine your body is a country. Your gut, nearly 30 feet long, is its largest border with the outside world. Everything you eat, breathe, or swallow passes through it. Naturally, that border needs an army. That's why 70% of our immune cells are stationed right there, ready to detect invaders, sort allies from enemies, and protect us from within. I remember a mild flu I had one winter. Instead of rushing to medication, I rested, drank warm broth, and added kefir and kimchi to my meals. To my surprise, I recovered faster than ever. Only later did I learn, a healthy gut trains your immune cells to recognize real threats, not overreact with allergies or inflammation, nor underreact when danger's real. Even in babies, we see this. Those born by C-section or not breastfed often have weaker gut flora and are more prone to allergies, infections, and skin issues. Meanwhile, babies with nurtured microbiomes grow stronger, naturally. The lesson I learned? Immunity isn't just about vitamin C or shots. It's about nurturing your internal border wall by feeding and respecting your gut. Your gut doesn't just digest food. It listens to the world and silently protects you every day. And if your gut can influence your immunity, can it also shape your mood, emotions, even mental clarity? Let's find out in Part 4. The gut-brain connection: how bacteria influence your feelings. Part 4. The gut-brain truth: how your microbes influence your mood. One evening, after a stressful week, I sat quietly on my couch, staring into my usual green smoothie. Nothing major had gone wrong. No arguments, no drama. But I felt heavy, emotionally drained. Have you ever felt that way? At first, I blamed lack of sleep, or maybe the gloomy weather. Then I stumbled on one quiet sentence in a research paper. Your gut is your second brain. You see, the gut and brain are connected by a long nerve called the vagus nerve, like a two-way phone line. So when your gut senses imbalance, like when your microbiome is out of whack, it sends signals to your brain, making you feel anxious, low, or foggy, without an obvious reason. But here's the jaw-dropping part. 90% of serotonin, your feel-good chemical, isn't made in the brain. It's made in the gut. Good bacteria play a huge role in producing serotonin, dopamine, GABA, all chemicals that shape your mood, sleep, and clarity. I remember a friend, Sarah. After giving birth, she struggled with long-lasting anxiety. She tried everything, but things finally shifted when her doctor helped her focus on her gut. Probiotics, fermented foods, and fiber-rich meals. Just a few weeks later, she was sleeping better, smiling more, and said, "Turns out, my brain lives in my belly." What I've learned is this: meditation, therapy, and self-help books are powerful. But sometimes, inner peace starts with inner balance. A calm gut gives you a calm mind. So if the gut affects mood, immunity, and digestion, the big question is, are probiotics for everyone? Who truly needs them, and who doesn't? Let's continue in Part 5. What probiotics can and can't really do. Part 5. What probiotics can and can't really do. Once I started sharing my gut health journey, my friends had lots of questions. I heard probiotics can cure everything. Can I take them to lose weight? Will it help me sleep better? I smiled, because I'd been there. When we discover something that helps, it's tempting to think it's the ultimate fix. But the truth is, probiotics have their place, but also their limits. What they can help with: digestive support. If you deal with bloating, constipation, or diarrhea, especially after antibiotics, probiotics can help rebalance your gut flora and soothe symptoms naturally. IBS relief. Specific strains like Bifidobacterium infantis have shown promise in easing pain, gas, and irregularity in people with irritable bowel syndrome. Mild immune boost. If you often get colds or sore throats during weather shifts, a healthy gut can help your immune system stay resilient. Mood and sleep. Some studies suggest that certain strains may gently support mental health, reduce anxiety, and improve sleep quality. But here's what they can't do. They're not medicine. Probiotics won't cure ulcerative colitis, gastritis, or severe allergies. They're supportive, not therapeutic. They don't magically burn fat. While gut health affects metabolism, probiotics alone won't help you drop 10 pounds if your diet is still unbalanced. They're not for everyone. Some people feel bloated or uncomfortable at first. Those with compromised immunity should be especially cautious. A friend once messaged me, "I've been taking probiotics for a month and nothing's changed." Turns out, she was taking the wrong strain at the wrong dose and still living in high stress with low fiber and tons of sugar. Here's what I learned. Probiotics aren't magic pills and capsules. They're supportive tools, not replacements for nutrition, movement, rest, or mindful living. Like fertilizer, they only work when the soil is ready. So, how do you take probiotics properly? When should you take them? What dose? Should you combine them with something else? All those answers and more are coming up next in How to Take Probiotics the Right Way. Part 6, How to Take Probiotics Properly and Make Them Work. I still remember when I first started taking probiotics. Every morning, I'd pop a capsule right after waking up, then rush off to eat breakfast, drink coffee, and dive into work. But after a few weeks, nothing seemed to change. Some days, my stomach even felt worse. At the time, I thought I had picked the wrong product. But the truth wasn't in the pill. It was in how I was using it. You see, probiotics are living organisms. And for them to work, they need the right timing, the right dose, and the right environment. So, how exactly do you take probiotics the right way? 1. Timing matters. Some strains like Lactobacillus are best taken on an empty stomach because stomach acid levels are lower, giving more bacteria a chance to survive. Other types, especially those with protective coatings, can be taken after meals to support digestion. Always follow the label instructions. Every product has its own formula. 2. How much is enough? Experts usually recommend starting with 1 to 10 billion CFUs per day. For most healthy individuals, this is sufficient to support gut balance. But if you're recovering from antibiotics or dealing with specific symptoms, your doctor may recommend higher doses, up to 25 to 50 billion CFUs/day. 3. How long until you feel results? Probiotics aren't painkillers. They don't work instantly. They need time to build a community in your gut. Most people start noticing changes after 2 to 4 weeks of consistent use. 4. What helps them work better? This part is crucial, but often overlooked. To keep those good bacteria alive and thriving, you need to feed them with prebiotic fiber. You can get that from green bananas, oats, asparagus, garlic, onions, leafy greens, legumes. I remember once traveling for work and bringing my probiotics but ignoring my diet. For a whole week, I ate erratically, little fiber, lots of white bread. Even though I took my capsules regularly, the results were disappointing. Only when I reintroduced fiber-rich foods and took probiotics at the right time did my body truly respond. 5. Avoid taking them with antibiotics. If you're on antibiotics, take your probiotics at least 2 hours apart to avoid killing the good bacteria. And keep taking probiotics for at least 1 to 2 weeks after finishing your antibiotics. Probiotics don't need to be a lot. They just need to be taken right. It's like planting a garden. You need good seeds, but also the right season, soil, and care. And maybe now you're wondering, can I just eat probiotic-rich foods and skip the capsules altogether? That's a great question, and one I asked myself many times. Let's explore it together in the next part. Natural probiotics, are they enough? Part 7. Natural probiotics, are they enough? When I first started learning about probiotics, I used to think, I don't need supplements, I just eat yogurt every day. And I know, many people feel the same. Yes, we absolutely can get probiotics from natural foods. From familiar items like plain, unsweetened yogurt, properly fermented sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, kefir, kombucha. Every spoonful or sip of these foods is like a vibrant world of living microbes. I even tried a fermented gut diet phase, eating at least one probiotic food every day. After a few weeks, I felt lighter, my digestion improved, and surprisingly, my mood was more stable too. But here comes the real question. Are fermented foods alone really enough? And the answer is, it depends. First, the number of live bacteria in natural foods is highly inconsistent. Each yogurt cup, each jar of kimchi, they all vary. And with industrial production, most live bacteria may not even survive the processing. Second, not every food contains the right strain for your needs. For example, if you suffer from IBS, you might need Bifidobacterium infantis, but regular yogurt probably doesn't have it. Third, if your gut microbiome is significantly out of balance, say after long-term antibiotics, the natural amount from food might not be enough to restore it quickly. I remember a patient of a nutritionist I knew. Her name was Maria, 52 years old, with chronic colitis. She tried eating yogurt every day for 2 months, but saw no real improvement. Then her doctor gave her a high-dose probiotic supplement with a targeted strain, combined with fermented foods. After just 3 weeks, her symptoms noticeably improved. Fermented foods are fantastic and should be part of your regular diet. But in many cases, they're the foundation, not the treatment. When deeper healing is needed, proper supplementation becomes essential. And when we talk about supplementing properly, the next big question is, how do we choose the right probiotics? Which labels can you trust? Which numbers matter? Does more CFU mean better? Let's untangle all of that. In the next part, choosing the right probiotic, don't waste your money. Part 8, choosing the right probiotic. Don't waste your money. One evening, I went to the grocery store with a friend. We stopped by the supplements aisle, and in front of us were dozens of probiotics. Capsules, liquids, powders, chewables. CFU counts from 1 billion to 100 billion. My friend picked up one labeled 25 billion CFU Ultra Strength and asked, "This one must be super powerful, right?" I smiled and said, "Not necessarily. Sometimes, right is better than strong." The truth is, choosing the wrong probiotic won't just waste your money, it can also mess with your gut even more. So, how do you choose the right one? First, check the strain. A probiotic's full name isn't just Lactobacillus or Bifidobacterium. It includes the strain and code, like Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG or Bifidobacterium infantis 35624. Each strain has specific benefits, from easing diarrhea to improving mood. Second, don't get seduced by big CFU numbers. Sure, 50 billion sounds impressive. But if the bacteria can't survive stomach acid, it doesn't matter how many you start with. Few will make it to your gut. Look for products with enteric coatings or technologies that protect the microbes until they reach their destination. Third, check the manufacturing date and storage. Some probiotics need refrigeration. If you're buying online, make sure it's shipped properly. And don't forget to check the expiration. Live bacteria have a shelf life too. Fourth, choose based on your needs, not trends. Examples: recovering from antibiotics? Saccharomyces. Boulardii is great. Struggling with IBS? Bifidobacterium infantis has proven effects. Want mood support? Try Lactobacillus helveticus plus Bifidobacterium longum. I once bought the most popular brand online just because it had lots of great reviews. But after weeks, I felt no change. Only when I researched the right strain for my symptoms and chose one with proper coding did I notice a difference. Probiotics aren't fashion. What's hot isn't always what works. Think of your body as a unique garden and choose the seeds your soil needs. But like anything in life, not everything is for everyone. So, should everyone take probiotics? Let's find out in the next part. When not to take probiotics. Know before you start. Part 9. When not to take probiotics, know before you start. We've talked a lot about the benefits of probiotics, but sometimes the things that seem safest are the ones we overlook. I once got a message from an older viewer. She had just gone through a bone marrow transplant and saw an ad saying probiotics could boost immunity. She bought a 10-strain 100 billion CFU supplement. After a few days, she felt weak and feverish. Doctors later confirmed the probiotics had crossed into her bloodstream, triggering a mild infection due to her weakened immunity. Thankfully, they caught it early and treated it in time. That experience taught me something important. Even good bacteria are living organisms. And for certain people, good for one may not be safe for another. So, who shouldn't take probiotics without medical advice? 1. People with severely weakened immune systems, undergoing chemotherapy or radiation, post-organ transplant, advanced HIV/AIDS, premature infants. 2. People with serious gut conditions, severe inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis flare-ups, suspected leaky gut, risk of bacteria entering bloodstream. 3. People with unexplained fever or signs of infection. 4. People allergic to ingredients in the product, dairy, gluten, lactose, or certain additives. A gastroenterologist once told me, probiotics aren't candy, they're living organisms. Treat them with care. That doesn't mean you should avoid them entirely. Just be mindful. Know your body. If you have health issues, talk to your doctor first. One final lesson. Health isn't about chasing every trend. It's about choosing what fits, when it fits, and why it fits. The right thing will help you heal. The wrong thing, even if well-intentioned, can add burden to your body. And if you've stayed with me through this journey, chances are you truly care about your health. So let's take a moment to bring it all together. Part 10. Heal your gut, heal your life. When you first clicked on this video, you were probably just looking for a simple answer. Are probiotics good for me? But if you're still here, you've realized this isn't just about a capsule. This is a story about connection. Between your gut and your brain, between your food and your feelings, between your sleep and your immune system, and most of all, between you and your body. We've explored what probiotics are and why your gut microbiome matters, how they impact digestion, immunity, mood, and what their limits are, who should take them, who shouldn't, how to choose the right ones, and how to support them with real food. I used to ignore my gut completely. Now, whenever I feel tired or emotionally off balance, I don't just look to my mind. I start by listening to my gut. Because sometimes, the most important signals don't come from our thoughts. They come from within. My final message to you is this. Healthy living isn't about controlling everything. It's about learning to walk alongside your body with awareness, kindness, and patience. And if there's one place worth starting, it's your gut. So how about you? Have you ever taken probiotics? Do you struggle with digestion, sleep, or mood? Which part of this video surprised you the most? Share your story in the comments. I read every message with care. And if this journey has helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it too. Because who knows, a small action from you could help someone finally hear their body's voice. And if you want to keep going, the next video is 7 foods that feed good gut bacteria. Are you eating them every day? Thank you for listening. With your heart, your attention, and your desire to live well from within.